Hey everybody, it's ShadowStar here for another Doctor Who review. This time it's The Church on Ruby Road. And this was a delightful first episode, which is exactly what you needed. You know, after the crazy 60th specials, it was just nice to have a refreshing, nice, simple episode. Nothing super crazy, nothing bad. Nice, simple episode. So, before we get into the Doctor, let's get into Ruby, our delightful new companion. Now, I won't deny, there isn't too much that sticks out to me, but it is her first episode, and that tends to be the case. Like, there is the mystery of, okay, she's abandoned. There is the mystery of the Doctor stalking her, and, it's debatable of if we'll ever find out if there's more to her being adopted, or if it was just, okay, she was left on a doorstep. We'll never know. Maybe there is, maybe there isn't. But either way, I think, she worked as a character. She worked exactly as a companion. She fills that generic companion quota. She's got a little bit of a mystery to her, but at the same time, as a character, she's perfectly grounded, perfectly in reality, and, she was fun all the way through the episode. Her interactions with the Doctor were great. Her singing was a delightful surprise. Her as a character at the end was great, and I can't wait to see her on more adventures. So, as a character, I enjoyed her. But what about our brand new Doctor? I mean, I already loved him in the few minutes we had in the 60th, and I loved him in this episode. Wow, I am impressed by shooting out in just one episode. That is a compliment you have to give, is... everyone could be hesitant on a new Doctor. You're like, okay, how's this the Doctor? But he sold it, and he is fun. He is fun, and we'll get into the fun soon. And then we have our quote-unquote villains, who, like most first episodes of a new season, they're kind of simple, generic, and that's what you need. Because this is also the introductory story for a Doctor and companion and other things as well. So, they're a simple villain with not too much of a grand motive of they just want to steal a baby and feed it to a giant slug monster. What more do you need? I will say, at the very beginning, when there's like this whole thing of bad luck coming for Ruby and things around her, they definitely reminded me of Gremlins. Especially the little laughs they had definitely reminded me of the Gremlins. Which is very fitting because Gremlins was a Christmas movie too. Also, very quick side note, I like that the Mavity joke came back. I like that they're keeping that around. That's actually pretty good. But anyway, yes, we get the Doctor interacting with Ruby, and it's a delightful interaction. You really get to see him as the Doctor. There's lots of great interactions there. The whole running on the rooftops, jumping on the ladder type situation. It's a very, very wham type of hit you where they're meeting for the first time. Well, not their first meeting because they interacted earlier, but although they interacted earlier where he's stalking her, very much feels like, in the Rings of Akaton where Matt Smith is stalking Clara as a kid. It's a very similar vibe, because, yeah. But anyway, we have to get on to the highlight of the episode, the song. Now, I knew there was a song and I'd heard bits of it, and I have to commend the fans for absolutely going bonkers and wanting to get this thing to be the best thing on Spotify. But I didn't listen to it too much until it aired, just so I wouldn't spoil myself. What I didn't know is that both the Doctor and Ruby would be singing. I saw the Goblin singers like, oh yeah, delightful little song. It's alright, nothing too bad, nothing too exciting. Then the Doctor and Ruby sings. I'm like, oh my god, this just shot up. I'm ready for it. I'm ready for our brand new Doctor, and I'm loving it. As soon as he started singing, my jaw dropped. I was like, oh yes, here we go. This is going to be fun. And this was so fun. I knew that was not cringeworthy. That was fun. Not crazy fun like, the Toymaker, but, fun. And that's all I can say about this episode. On the grand scale of things, it's not the huge biggest episode, and that's what a first episode often is. It's not a bombastic end-of-the-world plot. It's just one baby being abducted. And then we get to weave in the time travel. And I like that they toy with this, where at first he says that goblins can't time travel, and she's like, oh, you're not a time traveler. But then she finds out he is one, and she puts all the pieces together. That's a nice little scene, and, we have to rewind to one thing, because obviously, Ruby's adopted and her family often fosters people, and it's a great little soft moment where the Doctor just stops and actually admits that he's adopted too, which I knew this was coming, and I like the fact that they're actually going to tie in this connection of they can both relate to the feeling of adoption, and they can both relate to the feeling of, do they know what it's like to know your parents? And that scene where Ruby's told she can't have any way of knowing her real parents, it very much ties into the Timeless Children. And I know, yes, some people don't like that, but like I said, I like the fact that if we're going to have the Timeless Children, Russell's going to do it. But again, this episode was very much meant as a jumping on point. There's not heavy continuity, there's nothing, the Doctor mentioning his adopted doesn't mean much. So, this is very much a jumping on point. You could use this as a first episode, and quite frankly, you should. They want to launch this as a brand new thing, and I hate the fact that it's going to be called Season 1, but that aside, I totally get why they want this to be a brand new take. This definitely could be someone's first episode, and I wouldn't blame you for it. Some people are like, oh, you got to start with Rose, and it's perfectly fine for this to be your first episode. And that's what I can agree with. This episode works as a first episode. They don't overload you with things. Hell, they don't even give you much information on the TARDIS, other than it can time travel, because the moment Ruby steps in the doors, the episode ends. I will blatantly say now, I haven't seen the Next Time trailer. I know there was one, I don't watch it. And of course, they give us one little mystery of this elderly neighbor woman, who, even before that cliffhanger at the end, I was like, something's off about this woman, the way she's so friendly to the Doctor, and so friendly to everything, and just nudging Ruby to go into the TARDIS. And then, of course, there's this cliffhanger, and of course, everyone's going to make a million theories, just like people were making theories about the woman who abandoned Ruby. But, overall, it's a delightful episode. Not the most crazy episode, but there was nothing in the episode that upset me. There was nothing in the episode I didn't like. It was well paced. It was a nice, simple Christmas episode, introducing us to the Doctor. The introductory scenes were great. Ruby is a okay companion, she's not too in-depth, but it's her first episode. She's a nice, simple, happy-go-lucky companion, and that's fine. That's exactly what you need, because we've had all types of companions, and she's just average, which, surprisingly, we haven't had an average companion in a while. Just one Doctor, one companion, here we go. The song was amazing. It was nice to see the Doctor reference the Timeless Child stuff. The time travel was great. Obviously, you get some bombastic stuff with them running through the ropes and the stuff, but overall, simple episode, fun episode, not much I can say. That's the Christmas special. Like I said, I enjoyed it. It's a good opening Christmas special. It's a good opening, people were worried that after the bi-generation, it's going to be, this is going to be this big thing that's going to split things, and not really. Like I said, after the 60th, we're going to calm down and have a refreshing, simple episode, and that's just what this was. A simple, mostly calm episode. Anyway, I will see you next time for more Doctor Who reviews and other things as well. See you next time, guys.